So what if I told you that investing in a solar system would outperform the stock market? This guy's crazy, right? Or is he? So that's what we're going to look at in this video. Now, in order to do this fairly, we're going to have to do some math. But don't worry, I'll do my best to make that part painless. We're going to start out doing a fair break-even calculation of my system. That'll give you a feel of the kind of things you have to consider to determine how much is your system earning for you. Then we're going to compare that earnings potential of the investment in the system to what we would expect if we invested it in the stock market over the life of the system. And then we'll see, how does solar really compare financially to investing in the stock market? I had a solar system installed last year at my house and was told by the company that it would be an 8.5-year break-even time. Now I've got a year's worth of data and I can make a real-world calculation based on real numbers instead of just theoretical figures. If you want to skip to the break-even time that I calculated, go to this point in the video. But if you actually want to know if that number is correct, you need to see how I calculated it and judge for yourself if it's a fair calculation. Calculating a break-even point can be very complex, as you're about to see. My system is a 9200 watt grid tie system using a solar edge inverter. It uses good quality panels and a ground mount. So let's get on with our calculation. Step 1, I need to know exactly how much I'm paying for electricity. For every kilowatt hour of electricity that I generate is a kilowatt hour that I didn't have to buy. In that sense, I get paid full retail rate for everything that I generate. This is true as long as you don't over-generate more than you use on an annual basis, at least in most areas. So what that means is if you generate more electricity than you actually consume in a year, well then the electric company is going to pay you for that electricity, but they're not going to pay you at the retail rate. They're going to pay you at a wholesale rate, which is drastically reduced. Installing an expensive solar system to generate electricity and then get paid wholesale rates for electricity is not a good idea. So basically, you want to size your system so that you never over-generate what you're consuming.
So here's a copy of my electric bill. As usual, bills are never very clear. I have distribution charges, energy charges, power cost adjustment, and then taxes. Taxes are actually also based on a percentage of consumption. These come out to an additional 5%. When I add all that up, I get 11.72 cents per kilowatt hour. This is a generation report of my first year of electric generation with my system. Started on 3/2/17 and went all the way until 3/1/18. I generated 14,533 kilowatt hours of electricity. So I pay 11.72 cents per kilowatt hour. I generated 14,533 kilowatt hours in a year. Multiply it out, comes out to $1,703.28. So that's how much I saved in my first year of generation. $17,022 was the total cost of the system. Let me interrupt myself here. Talking about government subsidies and programs, whether they should exist or not, that's beyond the scope of this video. It's not what it's about. There is a tax credit for solar, that is the law, and that's what I'm working off of. That said, all of these programs are shouldered by the taxpayers, so thank you to all the taxpayers who contribute, whether you want to or not. What's that? Oh, you're welcome. $17,022 was the total cost of the system. $1,703 per year equals 10 years.
But what about SRECs? An SREC, or an SREC, is a solar renewable energy credit. Think of it as a currency much like a Bitcoin, and for every megawatt hour of electricity you generate with your solar system, you earn one. It's almost like mining a cryptocurrency. The Bitcoin just springs out of thin air once you've generated 1 megawatt hour of solar power. These SRECs are purchased by power companies because they have to comply with regulations to generate a certain amount of clean power. So by purchasing these SRECs, that keeps them in compliance and avoids having to pay fines. When my system was installed, SRECs in my area were selling at $20 a piece.
I generated 14,533 kilowatt hours, which is 14.5 megawatt hours, which is 14.5 SRECs. SRECs at $20 a piece comes out to $290 per year. 290 plus 1703, what I generated in the year, equals $1,993 per year. 17,000 divided by 1993 equals 8.5 years. That's where the 8.5 came from in my initial solar video, The Ugly Truth of Grid-Tied Solar Systems. Except, the SREC market dropped in my state, and many states. I don't get $20 a piece, I get $250. So 14.5 times 250 is a measly $36.25. It barely affects the calculation at all, and comes out to 9.8 years, not 8.5. So I went from 8.5 years to 9.8 years. That's a big difference. Unfortunately, SREC prices are not likely to go up anytime soon. As more and more solar installations are done, the supply of SRECs is going to continue to go up, so the value of them is going to go down. There are a few states that still have very high SREC rates, and if you live in one of those states, it might still be to your benefit to use this in your calculation. Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. are the top SREC payers right now. So there you go, 9.8 years. Are we done? Not even close. What about investing? I could have taken that $17,022 and invested it, and then earned money off of it rather than putting it into a solar installation. To do a fair break-even calculation, I have to include what I could have earned with that money. That said, out of that same account, I have to pay the electric bill, or at least the amount that I'm generating now every month. For a fair break-even calculation to include this investment income, you have to make some assumptions. Like, what percentage are you going to earn? I could put it in the stock market and earn 8%, right? Well, not exactly. I have to pay a monthly bill out of that account. Putting things in the stock market when you're going to need to be withdrawing money from them frequently is not likely to be a good move in the long run. It's also not a fair break-even calculation for me to put it into a savings account and earn, I don't know what they're paying, some measly 0.5% interest, and say that's my investment income. So to come to a real figure, I actually talked to a financial advisor. Very reasonable investment income on money that you're going to need to be accessing frequently is 4%. So that's the number I'm going to use. So how much does my solar system generate every month? If we look back with the actual SREC value, $17.39 a year is what my system is generating. $17.39 per year comes out to $145 a month.
So when I plug that into a savings calculator that includes monthly withdrawals of $145, starting at $17,000, earning 4%, it takes 12 years and 5 months for the account to be empty.
So is that our answer? Not quite. Electricity costs are going to continue to increase. In many areas, they're increasing faster than inflation.
I did a fair bit of research looking to see what the expected rate of electricity increase is going to be, checking multiple different sources. There was certainly agreement that the cost of electricity is going up. The ranges were from 2.3% to 4%. What seemed to be the most prevalent and what jived with the numbers that were reported was 2.6%. So that's what I'm going to use.
$11.72 per kilowatt hour at a 2.6% inflation rate for 12 years comes out to 15.95 cents. That's not fair either, because I'm only going to be paying that high rate right at the end of the break-even period. To make this fair and to keep the math from getting too complex, let's use 6 years. That'll be the average amount that we would have paid for electricity during this time period.
So 11.72 cents with an inflation rate of 2.6% after 6 years comes out to 13.67 cents.
We generated this many kilowatt hours. We multiply it by our 13.67 cents. We come up with $1986 plus the SRECs. We generated $2,023 per year on average for the next 10 to 12 years. That's $169 a month.
So when we plug that into our savings calculator, $169 a month, we come up with 10 years and 3 months break even.
So 10 years and 3 months. That's a little better. That made a big difference. Seems like maybe using the 12-year as the end point and 6 years as the halfway, maybe that wasn't fair, but we're not done yet. I think you'll see in the end that it is. So what else do we need to include in our calculation? What about panel efficiency? My panels are warranted to produce at least 90% of rated capacity at 10 years and 80% at 25 years. So that means this year I got maximum capacity, and every year it's going to produce slightly less. At 10 to 12 years, I'm going to be producing about 90% of what I produce now. Again, like we did with electricity rates, I can't use 90% of my capacity because that's only going to happen in the last year. So let's use a halfway point. Let's say we generate 95% of what I generated this year throughout the entire 10 years. 14,533 kilowatt hours is what I generated year one. I'm not likely to ever generate that much again. Minus 5% efficiency comes out to 13,806. That's what I will generate on average per year for the next 10 to 12 years. So this many kilowatt hours times our adjusted electricity rate comes to $1,887 plus the SRECs comes to $1,924 per year. That's $160 a month. And when we plug that into our calculator, we get 11 years. So that brings it back up to 11 years. Are we done? What kind of maintenance can we expect on a system like this? Well, fortunately, a properly installed solar system requires very little maintenance. The panels historically do very well as long as they're built correctly from a reputable manufacturer. They tend to last 30 plus years, even in harsh environments. The disconnects, the ground mount, the wiring, all of those are not going to require any significant maintenance in that time period. The only thing that would require maintenance in that time period is the inverter. My inverter has a 10-year warranty. So let's assume that inverter breaks on day one after 10 years, like things tend to do when the warranties run out. My inverter costs $1,200. Realistically, 10 years from now, as solar prices continue to decrease, I could probably buy that same inverter for a lot less. But I'd be kind of making that number up. How much less? Maybe $600, I don't know. The other thing is, I could claim another tax credit on it. But will that tax credit even exist in 10 years? I don't know. There's a reasonable chance that, say the inverter in 10 years costs $600 to replace, and the tax credit's still there, it would only cost me $400. But I don't know that for sure at this point, and I don't think it's fair to use that in the calculation. So I'm going to assume full $1,200, replace the inverter right at 10 years when the warranty runs out. $1,200 inverter plus the $17,000 initial cost comes out to this amount. But we didn't invest this $1,200 over 10 years. We're paying this right at the end. So it doesn't earn investment income. The initial $17,000, as we have seen, will be gone at 11 years. $1,200 divided by 160 a month, what we're generating, comes out to 7.5 additional months. So that means it'll be 11 years, 7.5 months. Are we done? I wish we were done. You see, the county is taxing me because of my solar installation. That's right. The federal government's giving me tax credits, subsidizing solar installations, and the county's turning around and taxing me on it. It's not a huge tax, $66 a year, but that's going to add up over time. I pay $66 per year in property taxes because I have a solar system. So that's $66 less that I am earning or generating or whatever. We've been working off this number, $1,924 per year. Subtract 66, we're actually getting $1,858 per year. $155 a month. That equals 11 years and 5 months when we plug it into our calculator. When we add the 7.5 months out back here for the inverter, we come up with 12 years. And that's our number. Now I must admit, 12 years is longer than I expected this to come out. With a little luck, it'll actually be less than that. I knew when I did the 8.5-year break even that I was not taking into account the investment income. And that's the big thing. And if you don't include that, your calculation is going to look much better. That said, I still don't regret in the slightest installing my solar system. Let me show you one more calculation and you'll see why.
So now that we've seen how to calculate what a solar system will generate for you, let's run it over 30 years. We're starting out at 14.5 megawatt hours per year on year one. At 15 years, we can expect 87% efficiency, and we'll get this many kilowatt hours per year. We're starting out at 11.72 cents per kilowatt hour. Inflated at 2.6% for 15 years, we get 17.22 cents per kilowatt hour on average for 30 years. I'm not going to include the SRECs, and for maintenance, I'm just going to take it right out of the earnings of the system. We're going to assume $1,000 per 10 years, or $100 a year. So 12,643 kilowatt hours times 17.22 cents is $21.77, minus the $100 for maintenance comes to $2,077 per year, or $173 per month. Now I'm going to assume that my solar system is worthless at 30 years. This probably won't be the case. I'll still have a ground mount, I'll still have installed wires, I'll still have the infrastructure in place. All I would have to do at this point, likely, is just buy a new set of panels and a new inverter. So how do we compare this to what we would get in the stock market? Well, break it down and make it simple. What we have done here is we've invested $17,022 and we have earned $173 a month for 30 years. So if we come over here to our savings calculator, we start out with $17,022, we work on 30 years, and we withdraw $173 per month. What interest rate do we have to earn for this to equal $0 at 30 years? Obviously at 0% interest, it's $0 at 8 years. So what would we earn in the stock market? A lot of people say 7% is a typical stock market earning. Well, that only gets us to 12 years. Well, how about 9%? Wow, that only gets us to 14 years and 9 months. 10%? 16 years, 11 months. 12%. Okay, 12%. We have $1,260 left. So it's just under 12%. Let's say 11.9%. 957. There. Oh, it came out perfect. $0 at 30 years. 11.9% interest. Keep in mind that this is a very low-risk investment. I'm going to be spending this money on my electric bill over the next 30 years. I'm not going to live in a cave and light my house with candles. I'm going to be buying electricity. And solar's been around long enough that people know what it generates. Basically, I'm earning just under 12% rate of return for 30 years on this money. The stock market doesn't approach a 12% average for 30 years in most cases. So I think it's pretty clear here that my solar system over the next 30 years is going to outperform the stock market quite easily.
If you're planning on installing this and then moving a few years down the road, you're probably not going to get your money's worth. If you're planning on living in the house that you're in for the rest of your life and you've got 30 plus years left, well, then it's a good investment. Good luck with your solar installation. I'm happy I did mine, even with the break-even numbers as they come out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.